In an age of health service cuts and economies, getting funds to improve a hospital service isn't simple. At Sheffield Children's Hospital, it's often charity that makes the difference. Today sees the opening of a new outpatient centre for boys with the bleeding disorder haemophilia.
And I think this is a lovely gift of £60,000 from the Roald Dahl Foundation to this lovely unit. And the work you do is marvellous, especially for the kids. I think it's terrific.
Thank you very much indeed. We have one of our best customers here to make a small presentation to you.
One for that gentleman there.
Where do you want me down here? Thank you very much indeed. I hope you get better soon. You're obviously in good hands.
Well done.
Great. Well done.
Nicholas actually has haemophilia.
Haemophilia is a very rare disorder, and the basic problem is that the blood doesn't clot. And so the old-fashioned picture of a patient with haemophilia, a boy of, say, 15 or 16, would be someone with already quite advanced arthritis of the knees and ankles and possibly elbows and wrists. And they would be, by adult life, severe haemophiliacs would be crippled.
4-year-old Nicholas Rizzuto is a severe haemophiliac and has been in and out of hospital all his life. Today, Nicholas has come in showing all the signs of a haemophiliac bleed.
Oh, nice to see her. Goodness me, you've got some black eyes there, haven't you?
It's like that panda poster, don't you?
You okay? Going there.
Nowadays, most haemophiliac bleeds can be stopped by using factor VIII, a human blood product that clots the blood.
You're going to go and play in the roof house, aren't you?
But for a year now, Nicholas has been struggling with a rare and dangerous complication. His immune system produces an antibody known as an inhibitor that stops the factor VIII from working.
Well, it's fairly depressing. I mean, we've been banging away at this antibody now for about 12 months, and it's still at a level which is a serious problem to him. I mean, I've only ever seen 2 patients with haemophilia die in the early years, and both of those had inhibitors and sustained head injuries and got these bleeds inside the brain. And we've had enormous difficulty in controlling that hemorrhage, and in fact, in most of those instances, we failed.
When they told us the news that he actually had severe haemophilia, it was a big shock because there's no family history. It's an hereditary condition and it's passed on by the female. But the genes mutated itself in me. And if haemophilia wasn't bad enough, we just got used to the idea of him having that and treating him with the factor VIII. Then a year ago we found out he had this inhibitor, which is a whole different ballgame then.
To protect his tiny veins from the number of injections that he has to have, Nicholas has had a portacath implanted in his chest. It's used to give the daily treatment and the frequent blood tests he needs in the battle to overcome his inhibitor.
When a young boy of his age develops an inhibitor, we feel it's very important to try and get rid of it. You can do this most times, not every time. And if you're going to do it, then the time to do it is at this age. Now, how you do it is actually you keep giving them factor VIII so that the body's antibody response to the factor VIII eventually, if you like, grows weary of struggling and eventually gives up, and they eventually tolerate the factor VIII. It's a little bit like desensitizing somebody who's got allergy and hay fever, that sort of thing.
So be nice and low.
It's just a blood sample for his inhibitor.
It is, yes.
For Nicholas's family, each inhibitor test is a moment of hope. At its worst, it reached a level of 170. Now it's hovering around 15.
Go. Here it comes. I think we should have a big party when it's gone away.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Prison, do you want to move your chain?
Why does he have the word chain?
It's an SOS. Inside is all his information about his condition and where to bring him if we were ever in a road accident or anything. It says, contact Vicky Fiddler.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Doesn't matter where we are in the world, get him to Sheffield Children's Hospital.
The hospital's chief executive, Richard Jevons, needs to get to grips with the financing of haemophilia treatment to persuade the local health authorities to keep paying for the life-saving blood products.
Evans has never seen any factor VIII.
Factor VIII is highly expensive, and haemophiliacs like young Nicholas can consume over £40,000 worth a year.
This is what all the fuss is about. That's high purity factor VIII. You want to know how much that costs? It's about, well, in round figures, that's about £200 worth.
How much are we spending a year on factor VIII?
Say it quickly, doesn't sound so much, about £500,000.
We keep all of the records for the bottles of factor VIII stored on the computer, mainly because if a child should ever have a reaction to a particular batch, we can track it right down to a particular bottle. He has one of these bottles every day.
You know, Sheffield is adopting this attitude about what products we should be using and what products we shouldn't be using. And other purchasers are not doing this, and so we're getting a situation in the UK as a whole where some people are doing one thing and others are doing others, and it's really very untidy. And I don't see any reason for that, because it's a fairly small world, haemophilia world. There are only, what, 2,000 severely affected patients in the whole of the UK.
I mean, I think the attitude of the purchasers would be that this is a risk for them, a risk area. You know, that the flow of haemophilias into the system is unpredictable, and so that they might suddenly be faced with extra tens of thousands of pounds expenditure, which they couldn't predict.
It's factor VIII. That's everything then. Okay. I'll ring you with the result.
Yes.
It'll probably be Wednesday, I should think.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to do me home.
Yeah, see you on the fortnight. Then on the Friday.
Yeah.
Another 4-year-old children's hospital regular is back. It's 7 weeks since brittle bone sufferer Hayley Finch had major surgery. After some 50 fractures, Hayley needed the operation, her second in 14 months, to fix a rod in her right leg, thereby strengthening it and correcting its deformity. Without the intricate operation, Hayley would face life in a wheelchair. But if all has gone well, she should eventually be able to walk unaided for the first time.
Come on, what are you doing?
Oh, we're waiting to get your pots these taken off.
Then you'll see my legs again.
Yeah. It'll be nice and they'll be all white as well.
No, they won't be white.
Bet they are.
It's a skin.
Do you like having these things taken off?
You don't, do you?
Yes.
Does she not?
So far, she's screaming every time. She's quite adamant she's not going to cry this time. Don't hurt her, just the noise.
Ready?
Yep. You ready?
Since the operation, Hayley has been immobilised in her plaster cast. Only when it's taken off and her legs can be x-rayed will doctors know whether the operation has succeeded.
Hello, Tanja.
We've taken pots off you before, so you know it tickles you, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ready?
Not that noisy.
That's one side done.
Look at that.
Nearly.
Oh, there's a leg out there somewhere.
It doesn't want to come off this side, does it?
I think
Yeah, you hold it back.
What are you going to do when that goes?
What are you going to hold on to?
No, there won't be on anymore,
We'll have to write on your leg then instead of the plaster, won't we?
No, don't be so sad.
Ready?
That's it. And that one's out. There you are. Let her legs down.
Hang on.
That's it. Go on,
Come here.
That's it. That's it.
Shush, shush,
That's
shush.
it. It's all right, love.
Hold on.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Didn't really hurt, did it?
No, I'm glad it's off.
You're glad it's off?
I can see my nose there.
Can't you?
Oh, look.
That's your old scar. That's your new ones under there. That has to come off in bath.
I don't go for it.
All right then. We'll go to X-ray.
The left, the right one, you can compare the two. You can still see where the breaks have we've divided the bone, but it's now perfectly straight and it's all started to heal around the sides, so we're quite happy with that. So the overall alignment is quite nice. The rod's nicely buried here at the knee, and it's all joined up, and it's now nice and straight. Where is she? Where are you then? There you are. Get your plasters off.
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
No.
No? Oh, what's that?
For you.
Oh, thank you.
Cat.
It was my birthday last week. How did you know?
No, didn't know.
Well, thank you very much indeed for the card. That's very nice of you. So how have you been?
All right.
All right. Do you have much pain? Right. Okay, let's have a look. I just want to have a peek. I'm not taking it off. Mummy's doing that.
Can I lift my leg up?
Yeah, you do it then. I'll keep my hands out of the way, shall I?
That's all I can lift it up to.
Is it all? Can't you put it round your ear?
No.
Well, you could before.
No, I couldn't.
Oh. Okay. Now, can I just have a look under here?
Look at that one.
No, I'm not doing anything. I just want to bend it back to have a... Just let me have a look. Oh, that's all right, isn't it? I'm not taking anything off. Well, that's healed up well, isn't it? You seem to have joined together. This is healed, and I'm happy with that, looking at the pictures and everything we've had today. You can take these dressings off at home. We should contact your physio, because now she can start to do some hydrotherapy, and we're going to start standing in water and start mobilising the hip and everything else.
Not straight away.
Well, what are you going to do when you first go, then? What are you going to say to your physiotherapist?
Got them off.
And what are you going to do then? What's she going to do? But you have to do it in water to start with.
Yeah. I can't do it, just stand up at home and get on my knees.
No, you can't do that. OK, see you in 6 weeks. I want you standing by then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello, Liz, it's
Hi,
Vicky.
Vicky.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
And hello to Nicholas too. I heard him in the background. Just to let you know, the inhibitor's down to 7.
7?
Yes. That's brilliant, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
more than
that's
halved.
Second floor.
But only a week later, Nicholas and his family are back in hospital with a new problem that threatens to interrupt the doctor's attempts to get rid of his inhibitor. The portacath, the vital device in his chest which he depends on for his treatment, has become infected.
And he's been getting fever and chills a couple of times, has he?
Yes, a few rough patches.
What exactly happened?
He had a very, very high temperature level. I actually took him into the local hospital because they weren't sure whether it was just a childhood virus or...
I mean, the bug that we've got is really normal sort of bug which resides on our skin. Just because his skin integrity has been breached, it's entered his portacath. And it's not very surprising that it has. No. The problem is that it's grown to the extent now that whenever it's flushed, some bugs are dislodged into the circulation. So really, we need to just clear the line of the bugs.
Would you like to have a reaction to these antibiotics?
He might just feel a little funny because of the drug going through the first time. Might just get a bit of tingling, something like that, that's all.
Okay.
Just let us know what happens.
Yes, I'll call you straight away.
Nicholas's 10-day course of antibiotics is prepared in the hospital pharmacy. The unpredictable nature of his condition is matched by continuing financial uncertainties about funding haemophilia treatment. Every year, contracts to pay for the care of haemophiliacs have to be agreed between the local health authorities and the hospital's negotiator, Kevin Bellis.
The problem, as we both know, and it happens all the time with this type of high-cost, high-tech treatment for a small number of children, is when one child, the cost of the treatment of that child goes through the roof. We can't predict what's going to happen with haemophilia. Other specialties here begin to suffer. And it's the balancing of that.
I'm absolutely...
I've got no problem with that, provided you're happy to take on your colleagues who then can't do their operations or can't deal with the other issues.
I mean, I can't help it if we have a patient with haemophilia who gets horrendous complications and costs us an enormous amount in a short space of time. That's a risk that you take if you treat haemophilia. Everybody knows that. And if we're in a system where, if that event happens, I start impoverishing the rest of the hospital, then I'm going to feel fairly uncomfortable about that, and I really don't think we should sign any sort of contract that makes that a possibility.
Well, we know that there's not a bottomless purse in terms of the money that's available for the hospital.
If I'm not, I'll phone you.
Well, ring me anyway.
I will. I will.
You're a star today, little one.
We're getting there, aren't we, Kay?
We've got two things we really need to discuss. One is the difficulty we've got with the low-grade infection that he's picked up in his porticare, which is one thing. And then the other thing is the more global review of where we're going with his overall therapy plan. So shall we deal with the little thing? I say little thing. It's not a life-threatening complication that he's got. It's just a major nuisance. But nonetheless, we ought to try and get rid of it. And I think we'll have another go.
Certainly, once we start on the last antibiotics, he picked up in himself. I mean, he's after I spoke to Vicky the other day, he's kind of gone off, what I call off again. He's become a bit more grouchy and a bit sort of miserable, but...
It may be making, causing him problems, and I think for that reason, I mean, the worst thing that could happen is that we have to take his porticare out. But I'm not in any rush to do that. I'm quite prepared to play cat and mouse with the bug for a bit longer. Now, the other thing, the inhibitor, pretty graph. Have you seen this? It shows you that he's had, since we started off, he got quite a big rise here, and he peaked at that time with an inhibitor of 170. And then it came down quite nicely until middle of December, when we decided to reduce the dose, I think, to alternate days, didn't we? And then that was disappointingly associated with a rise here. But since then, we put him back on daily treatment, and we've got a nice curve down. But I think it would be totally inappropriate to do anything now apart from carry on for at least another month or two and see if we can get this down to 0. And I'm not promising it's going to. I'm not promising anything. I have not been in this position before.
I don't think we'd anticipated that a year later we'd still be
but if we
chugging
can get
along.
rid of it, everything he's been through is cheap at the price, because it will affect the rest of his life so much if we can get rid of it. If we can treat him as a normal, responder. Otherwise, the prospect of a life of having a high titer antibody is...
Well, I don't think so.
No.
It's really boring having to sit still like this, isn't it? Should do. Okay, I'll just sort out these bottles.
It's all done now.
Don't forget them mixed up, must I? This is the most important one. This is for your inhibitor, the one with the purple top on it. Shall we put money on it? What do you think it might be? You say a number, Nick.
What number?
It could be 0.
Meanwhile, Hayley is now busy learning to walk.
That's it. Yeah. Good girl. Come on from side to side. Shall we do some walking now? On here.
Once a week, she has hydrotherapy. The warm water helps to make her joints more supple and supports her weight, encouraging her confidence. Already, after only 2 weeks, she's becoming mobile.
Oh, you are clever. Turn around.
Come on, back to me again.
Back to Daddy.
Oh, sit. Nice and steady. Come on, one more. Try that foot.
Now this one. Good girl.
Mama, swim again.
Are you worried about her future at all?
School-wise, no. When she gets older, when she finishes school, then yeah. I don't know what's going to happen to her then. I'm just hoping she will do well in school. That'll compensate for what she's got as a disability.
Come along.
I can't. I think she will, because she's quite bright.
And do you think the walking is an important part of the future?
Yeah, it'll just give her that little bit of independence. Even if she can't walk miles, well, a couple of yards, some better than nothing.
You doing that holding on?
Two weeks later, laboratory tests show that the infection in Nicholas's portocath has cleared up. But it's the inhibitor level which is crucial.
This is a very rare disease. This is a rare complication. And the only haemophiliacs these days who get the old problems that we used to have before blood treatment was available are those with these factor VIII antibodies, like Nicholas. And so you revert to them having all this problem with joint bleeds and crippling. And you can occasionally lose patients. You can see we've got problems with Nicholas again. It's going up, isn't it? I don't know. I'm getting rather fed up with this. I think we'd better talk to Mr. and Mrs. Rizzuto again and see whether we want to carry on or whether we want to give it a rest for a while. We'll have to think about it, but we need to talk to them again, so you better get in touch with them and let them know that. They'll not be very pleased.
Hello, Liz, it's Vicky. How are things at your end? I'm afraid it's not brilliant news from up here. Nicholas's inhibitor's gone up to 28. I'm sorry.
Do you feel personally that you're very disappointed about this?
Well, I'll put it this way. I would have been very pleased if we'd succeeded. I think the fact that we haven't is disappointing, yeah.
Is Mrs. Rizzuto disappointed, do you know?
I expect she will be. I don't know whether she's faced the fact that we haven't succeeded. I imagine she probably has. There are other things we could do. We could give him a more aggressive schedule of treatment to try and get rid of this natural resistance, but the reason I'm hesitant about doing that is it's quite a hairy business for a little chap of his age, and there's no guarantee that it's going to work, irrespective of the fact that it's going to bankrupt the NHS if we do.
Okay.
How are you?
Not bad.
Well,
Slightly depressed.
I think, we just ought to have a chat about where we go from here. I think we've reached the first anniversary of our efforts to get rid of Nicholas's inhibitor. And, well, we have to be honest and admit we haven't managed to do it. I don't know what the right thing to do is now. I don't think anybody knows what the right thing to do is now, but I sort of have a feeling that it's not to carry on doing what we're doing indefinitely. We're chucking in an awful lot of stuff into him. We don't know whether it's doing any good at all.
No.
But I think what we probably should do is to learn more about how his inhibitor reacts. It might be reasonable to withdraw the regular factor VIII at the moment and just watch what happens, not plan to give him any more human factor VIII for a bit, and then decide on the basis of what happens what we do next.
But you still would hope to get rid of it one way or the other?
I haven't given up that ambition.
Good, neither have we.
I still would very much like to get rid of it, but I think, we might have lost this particular battle and we need to regroup and scratch our heads and think again. Don't think we've lost the war.
No.
It was certainly worth a go, and I think we've given it a good try. And we so nearly managed it, didn't we? It's just that it's so frustrating at the end, it just wouldn't go away.
I can't deny that we're very disappointed by it.
OK, well, keep up the good work.
Hold on. It's been a long, it's over a year now, it's been a long 15 months, thinking that we were winning, and we've just, a year down the line, we're just back to where we were a year ago, so.
How are you feeling?
Tired, I think. You suddenly flake and realise that it's exhausting. It's hard work. But, when you jog along, you make the most of it, and suddenly you probably sit down and have a quiet 5 minutes and you think, well, why have we got this problem, But then there's always somebody worse off than us.
Fucking man, what do you think? Very good, isn't it? It's a dinosaur.
She's fine. No problems whatsoever at the moment. This one's gone better than the first. The determination is very strong. She's supposed to do exercises each day, but she doesn't. She doesn't by herself. It's up to her how far she can go. I said she'd never walk. She didn't for herself. She can walk.
I'm here to see you.
Did you? How are you?
All right.
How's your swimming?
All right.
How's she got on?
She's shattered to be blunt. She's coming home and going to bed at 3:30 after school. Staying there all next morning. She's doing very well, but she's
Well, that should be
absolutely...
quite, that should be quite a great delight, isn't it, that she sort of sleeps through the night and everything else like that. Come on, can we get you to stand up for me?
You want your boots on or your socks off?
Please.
You want your boots?
Boots on.
I can put
So she's doing some standing.
She's walking in the water.
She's walking in the water.
She's walking with the rollator out of the water.
So she's getting quite mobile.
Yeah.
This is a worry, isn't it?
She had 2 falls and broke nothing.
No.
You have, you've fallen out your chair twice.
Well, didn't break anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, that's good, isn't
Put
it?
my face.
Well, do you think your legs are getting stronger now, then?
Yes.
Good. The more weight she actually takes, the stronger her legs will become as a consequence of that.
Yeah.
And the more activity she does both in the swimming and on dry land will actually build up her muscles as well.
She's not doing too much then.
No.
I thought she was doing...
Come on then.
Oh, no.
That's very good, isn't it? Can you walk with it?
Go on then.
I'll watch my toes. Don't trust your driving.
Scratch, where are you going? Got 2 bigger steps here.
No.
Turn round.
Now you got to the door, what do you do?
Turn round.
Turn around.
Slow.
Excellent. Very, very good. I might even give you a gold star. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think you deserve it?
Yeah.
Yes, I think you do too. Keep going. Keep going. This is obviously excellent. What we now need to do is just to slowly an increase in progression of her activities. If she wants to get on sticks and she can manage sticks, that's fine. But obviously what the most important thing is to make sure her balance is there to do that. So the way things are going is excellent. We will probably review her in around 3 months' time, and I'd hope by that time that she'll be, walking, with sticks or something like that, and she should, I would hope, to get to the situation where she may not need any sort of external support. I'll give you your gold star today. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, isn't it?
You lost your tongue.
I don't think that's... I think that's not a very realistic proposition, you losing your tongue, is it?
I ain't lost it.
No. Excellent.
Okay, thanks, Dad. Bye.
Doctors tried one more course of treatment for Nicholas, and 9 weeks later, his inhibitor finally went away.